Hello, it's Jang here with a look at the Bloks Terminator Genisys Prisoner Transport Attack Set. This comes with 819 pieces officially, and even if you haven't seen the movie, this is seen in one of the trailers, the character trailer for John Connor, the character, and it's a big transport vehicle. It's actually a fairly simple, basic, and utilitarian kind of design, really. And I think they did a respectable job of capturing its overall look. It's mostly just a big box on the back, and then it has the power unit up in the front. I appreciate what they've done at the coupling to actually make it somewhat realistic, the way that it's attached at the cab there, where it actually swivels in the back, and there's just a little bit of side-to-side movement where you can get this to look like it's going over some rough terrain. And that's actually how these things are really made. Usually it would be a diesel electric kind of setup with power also going to rear axles potentially. But to be perfectly honest with you, to me, just subjectively, this looks a little bit plain. More plain than it ought to, because the building along the side, although they got the shape done pretty well, doesn't have any extra real detailing on top of it. They could have gotten some nice, just a little bit of extra depth in there, I feel, and it ends up just looking like one of their lower end kits. Now, the build was long and involved, tons of different pieces. It was not an easy build to put together, even though it looks fairly simple, and even the construction of how this back section is put together, even though it's basically just a box, it was actually pretty involved and took quite a long time and used a lot of different types of pieces. Now, in the movie, they would have these side parts that would come down completely to open up and give you full ability to see who's inside of there, and they would shoot from there and such. But that actually doesn't happen with this one, strangely enough. The back is able to fold down to give you kind of a ramp there and access there. They've got the hidden heavy plasma cannon feature, which comes up from here, and that actually has to kind of rest on the power unit in the front. It'll actually stay up if that's out of the way, but it works better, it stays more flat if you still have that unit, because you can detach this. I forgot to mention that. You can just detach this, again with the realism of how that's set up. But the turret up on the top actually looks pretty nice, and I like this use of this piece here at the end, which is actually a ball and socket joint piece, which we've seen used for the base of gear shifters, and there's another one actually down inside the cab. But this looks pretty nice, and this actually looks pretty appropriate. You do have to get it angled just right in order to fit it down in there, but it does the trick. And then this whole roof section here is also removable to give you access to the entire inside of the thing, just to place your figures inside. There are 4 seats in there. Each one can hold any normal figure, and they also give you a little rack where you can put weapons. So a total of 4 clips there on the wall. So each of your figures can get 1 weapon, and that's just it for the interior. Very Spartan, very basic, and again, very plain, and to me, just a little bit disappointing given how much work actually goes into the build of this thing. Now, there is one section over on this side that does turn down. For what, though? For access, of course, so you can spill some of your soldiers out there, but it doesn't leave the kind of half wall on the side that can be used for cover, basically. So it does have a little bit of a nod to what's done in the movie, but it's kind of strange to me the way they kind of cantilever the fuel tank around like that, and it doesn't happen all the way around either. And here's a look at just the whole thing with all the panels opened up and or removed, so you can get some light in there and get an idea of the depth of the whole thing and also its overall proportions. There is no suspension action for any of the individual axles. Those are just fixed. The tires look very nice, the wheels look very nice. But I did show you that you do have articulation for the cab section for steering, and also just a little extra wiggle room to allow you to kind of show that it's going over a little bit of terrain there, which actually works pretty nicely. The front of the cab is pretty good, especially underneath. I like that there is some detailing added in there, and they got a little bit of striping with the black going through where the lights are, but still to me on the sides, just a little bit on the plain side. For access inside the cab, the entire roof pretty much comes up as just one assembly there. And there you can see you get the two major seats towards the front. There's the long gear shift lever in the center with that ball joint piece down on the floor in black this time. And you get 3 seats in total. So there's one in the back. You could have your guy who's doing the little remote controlling of the taken over carcass of a T800 in the front. And I like how the steering wheel is able to actually move up and down, so you can kind of change the angle of that and make it go to a better pose to match whatever figure you put in there once you've put the figure in place. No opening doors on the sides here, so everything has to be done from the top. Here are the first 4 figures included with the set, and I'm happy that they actually give us 2 named figures. Over on the left, of course, is the leader of the resistance movement, a highly decorated military veteran, and his name is John Connor. What do you think I was going to say? It's John Connor. Look, it's obvious. He actually did a really good job on the sculpt of the face there, and the hair also. The hair it's a very well detailed, very crisp cut, and you can see the individual little lines going through it and stuff. It's actually well done. And the battle damage on the side, I think, is absolutely excellent. Always a question mark with the eyes that are just holes, but as I always say, there are good things about that and bad things. I think the John Connor version actually looks pretty good with that. The one to his right, Kyle Reese from the Genisys movie, is not looking quite as good, but is well done sculpting wise. You can see the difference between the two pretty well. And then the other 2 are just generic resistance soldiers, but I think both of them actually look really good. And I especially like the use of the real matte color for the hair right here rather than going shiny. I think Kyle's hair is too shiny in this case. Just has a little bit too much gloss to it. But yeah, all of these have the same basic body and the same vest. 2 of them have the little side pouch that's attached on there, and you just get 2 different types of weapons between them. This guy also includes the combat knife. No grenade included here, but this guy gets a bunch of, looks like 40mm canisters around his waist. But where's the grenade launcher itself? We get an RPG launcher. That's good, but we need a 40mm. On the bad guy side, of course, a pair of T800s, although they don't have the teeth painted up. I think it's all good. Obviously, you can use these both as bad guys, or you could use one of them as the captured, reprogrammed one that's being remote controlled to infiltrate. But however you want to set that up, it's entirely up to you. And these are identical to the non-washed versions that come in the T800 pack. You see, they have the different type of weapon that they carry here. I mentioned the remote controlling. Well, they give you a laptop for that with the sticker that's pre-applied there, and this is a laptop that they've used before. It looks pretty good and folds up to allow a figure to hold it. So that's just it for this one. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any thoughts that you would like to share about it. Overall, I like the figure selection quite a lot, but the truck, it kind of lets me down a little bit. I feel like there's a lot that goes into it, but the end result is just a little underwhelming. I look forward to reading your feedback, and I'll be talking to you again very soon.
A soldier.